Oh my God, Frap, you are giving me a fight today. Oh my God, guys. Oh man. Hey guys, how's it going? You know, it's the beginning of a new year. I'll be completely bald. Yellow Ackie, Reptile. Hey guys, how's it going? I thought today we could talk a little bit about holding your Tegu, especially a full-grown Tegu like Frappuccino. This came to my mind because a while ago I had to give him injections because of his little jaw issue. Basically, it's always been kind of hard to handle Frap as well in terms of holding him. He's always been very docile, no nipping or anything, but he's very squirmy. So we're going to just talk a little bit about that today. Obviously, this might differ in approach if your guy does kind of try to nip you. There are some more crazy Tegus out there, but I want to show you guys how you can kind of really keep them in check and not let them wiggle out of your grasp. So let's get to it. I'm going to get Frap out of this enclosure. First, I'll just show how I get Frap out of the enclosure because this is somewhat where the wiggling starts and it's a little bit of an awkward situation bending down into the enclosure. So let me get some dirt off of them, but especially you got to get behind them if they're near their hide, because Frap will dip right back in there, like that. But what I do is get behind the front arms like this, and then hold the back tail. The tail is the danger zone. Danger zone! That thing whips the crap out of you. If you ever had an iguana, you probably know, but Tegus have that same muscle power in their tail. It is all muscle and it hurts getting whipped. So let me tell you guys that. Let's head to the garage though, and I'll show you a little bit more about how I hold Frap and see if he gets a little wiggly so I can really demonstrate. What?
I'm just filming your butt.
You guys are gonna be a little lower today because I want to be on the same level as Frappuccino. Hey Frap, how's it going? He's a little cold, so I don't know if he's gonna be as rowdy as I would like in terms of being able to demonstrate this. I was hoping to take him in from the outside because he always gets a little crazy, a little cranky because he's coming back in and he likes being outdoors. But it's gonna be pretty cold here the next couple days, for a Tegu that is. Before getting to the demonstration, I just wanna let you guys know, and you'll hear me say this throughout the video, this should definitely not be your #1 first attempt at going and handling, holding your Tegu. This is for primarily grumpy Tegus who have a little bit trouble handling and being held. So definitely don't do this as a first resort. This is just definitely a method for those who are struggling. But basically, this is how you go about it. We have Frap here in his little basket. I kind of transport him sometimes this way because he feels a little bit more comfortable. So what I do, let me turn him this way because it's a little bit easier. You kind of want to go from behind, and just like how I got him out of his enclosure, I go behind the front legs and get under the neck a little bit. So let me do that. Like I said, it's kind of easy to get behind him. And then I grab the base of the tail again. He's already getting a little poopy right now. So grab him out. Get that tail really under. Whoa, get that tail really under the armpit right there, because that's where they're gonna get their power from. Now you can see he's getting a little wiggly right now. That's fine. They usually calm down. Oh my God, Frap, this is what I'm talking about. They usually calm down once you kind of get a grasp of them. But it's always also okay to reset. So you can see I'm putting him back in here real quick. He's getting a little upset, so you don't want to push him. Ooh, Frap. Oh my God. All right. So you can reset if they get a little crazy like that. I actually did a take right before this that I'm trying to redo, and he was a lot more docile than this. But it's okay to totally reset. It's okay. Like I said, the real trick is to really get that tail under the armpit because that's how they go. That's really how they generate their power. So I'm gonna try this again. And usually, once they know that this tail is in lockdown, they kind of eventually let go and kind of get a little docile and relax. I'm not a big fan of kind of force handling reptiles or anything because I could almost kind of equate this to that. But in this case, I feel like Tegus can sometimes really respect a little bit of authority and dominance. So once you have them under control, have that tail there, you sometimes want to pin down the front legs a little bit. You can kind of hold them in a way where they can't really get them out. And the more they can really wobble and do things like that, the easier it is for them to get out of your grasp. So you kind of want to start that way, and then you can kind of slow down a little bit as they get a little bit more comfortable in your arms, and that's when you can put them down and kind of reward them. So here we go again. All right, there we go. See? A little comfortable. He's getting worn out too. So I'm gonna go like this.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Readjust them. There we go. Oh my God, Frap, you are giving me a fight today. Okay, you can see I really got that tail on lockdown though. See how he stopped? It's because I really got that tail really stuck under my armpit and he can't use it to generate momentum. So now he's very good, very docile. Say hi, Frap. Obviously it's not gonna focus. But there we go, and then you kind of just hold him for a sec. He's kind of really relaxed. It's okay if eventually you want to like make them a little bit more comfortable. There he goes again. Oh, I'm gonna put him down and reset it because he got his tail out. Now, obviously you don't want to stress him out. Frap is usually not this bad. Obviously he knows I'm on camera, so he's getting a little bit more of a show than I would like. But if they get really rowdy and you really get them in that position and they're still just going, oh my God, guys. Oh man, if they're still just going, I recommend obviously possibly giving them a little bit of break and putting them down. They're not always gonna be in the mood for being picked up. And a lot of this, let me get more in frame. A lot of this, I'm out of breath, guys. A lot of this is not only establishing some dominance over them and some control, but it's also showing that you have mutual respect. So it's knowing when to stop too. In the end, you really don't want to stress your guy out. You know, you want them to be happy. You don't want them to get kind of pissed off and upset, because if you do that in a prolonged period of time, meaning over and over, that can really start affecting their health. So that's really important to know when to stop. Additionally, you need to remember that these guys, they're smart reptiles, so they'll probably remember a lot of negative interactions with you and they'll kind of change their behavior towards you. So that's really a downside, and the main downside of doing this type of approach. Like I said, overall, I really don't like it, but he's calmed down a little bit. This, you know, there's other approaches to this. I want to be clear that, you know, not all Tegus are like this, but Frap overall, he's a pretty good Tegu, and, you know, everyone has some issues they can work on. So let's try this one more time and see how it goes. You want to go from behind, get under the tail base, get under those front legs here, and you can kind of just be pretty relaxed, and then just kind of put it under your armpit. There we go. There we go. So see, I let Frap calm down a little bit, and now he's relaxed. So sometimes, you know, it's not always gonna go this well, how it's going right here. Sometimes it's gonna go crazy, like you guys just saw in the beginning of this video. But then, give some time. I pretty much paused recording for about 15 minutes, and now Frap is pretty docile and pretty chill. So, you know, if you don't start on the right foot, give a little bit of a reset. That's what I'm talking about. There's a mutual trust and respect between me and Frappuccino. Sometimes he's just not in the mood for my games, right, Frap? So, when that happens, you gotta respect him, put him down, let him relax. Ultimately, you wanna give them a little bit comfortable of a platform. So, sometimes what I've been really working towards lately, other than just kind of getting them comfortable in my hands like this, I'm not even really holding them that much. I mean, look at the tail there, that's very loose under my armpit. But what I'm really working on now is getting him comfortable into a more comfortable position. So that way he feels safe. But usually as soon as I kind of don't give him a platform for the front arms here, that's when he starts to get a little bit crazy. This is probably the #1 thing I've been working on with Frap. Like I said, taming wise, he interacts with me great. He never approached to nip me or anything. He's always been very docile. The real only problem I've ever had with him is this, handling. And that's what I'm working towards. And I've tried a bunch of different approaches. I didn't want to go towards this direction as a first approach, but I think for reptiles, especially after talking to my exotic vet, who's very reputable, this is kind of how she goes about handling them in these situations. I think this is a great approach and something worth doing that kind of really works. So this is definitely a work in progress for me. Also, I'm definitely no experienced individual right now in terms of making a Tegu more handleable, but this is working so far, and I really like it, like I've been saying. And then when they're calm like this, other than, you know, if they're freaking out and you kind of need to do a reset, that's when you can put them back and show that, you know, you guys can kind of, or he can kind of go and do his own thing once he relaxes, and you give him that space after holding them for some time. Alrighty guys, so hopefully this helps anyone out there struggling with handling their Tegu. Again, this is a last resort method and definitely something to use if you're kind of in a situation where you need to handle them. So that's the mindset of this approach. Anyway, guys, you can get $5 off your first purchase of Reptile links by using code Professor Herp at checkout. I feed Reptile links to my Tegu Frappuccino, the subject of this video, but you can also feed them to hognose snakes, blue-tongued skinks, and more. $5 off your first purchase by using code Professor Herp at checkout. Alright guys, make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.